What's going on, Flicks Talkers? It's that time of the year. It's the end of 2019, and we have our top list of just kind of the movies that we felt were, you know, receiving of that award of best movies of the year. Now, I'll have to start off first saying that we didn't see every movie this year.
Yeah, I didn't see every movie. There's still several that I want to see that I haven't.
Yeah.
But this, as far as like top 10, this is what, you know, I really enjoyed and what you really enjoyed.
Yeah,
so.
there was a lot of them that I totally missed that were like, people were like, this is incredible. How can you review a list without, you know, watching this one first? And it's, guys, there's a lot of things going on in our lives.
Life happens. Life happens. We have full-time jobs and, you know, things going on. And
oh, yeah. And it's a holiday time. So
holiday time. Yeah, we can't see every single movie.
Exactly.
It's pretty impossible.
Exactly. So these are the movies that we did see this year. But for right now, we're going to go over some of our favorites. And I think we should start with honorable mentions. So those are the ones that didn't make the list, but they were like good movies, but I don't think they had too much rewatch value, for me at least.
Yeah. Honorable mentions.
Yeah, for sure. So my first honorable mention is a movie called Climax. Did I tell you about that one? It was like a bizarre, Italian movie, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So this one right here, guys, Climax, pretty much in a nutshell, is a troupe, and they're just all meeting, you know, in this hall that for like their final hurrah. They're gonna go overseas, and they're gonna I think they're coming to America actually, but they're in like Italy or Paris, and then they throw a huge crazy party in like, it looks like a gym or a hall or something like that, but someone spikes a punch like purposely, and it's like a hallucinogen wild ride. You get to see it kind of like from, I think it's like all one take too. It's like one of those all one take things,
cool.
And it stars the girl Sofia Boutella from The Mummy. That one. So aside from the crazy like theme of it and just the cinematography, it had like some wild 80s and 90s just music that I love, like electronic awesome. And like real dancey like type music, synthy type music, and it just gets more and more bizarre as the movie progresses. So Climax is definitely in one of my honorable mentions. I don't know. I really don't know. You probably stream it or check for it, but it did come out earlier. Actually, I think it came out last year, but it did get released this year. But I know it's on Blu-ray for sure on Amazon if you guys want to check it out.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies that came out, you know, in 2019, and these are my honorable mentions are really good. So it's like it was really hard to just pick, you know, a top 10 honorable mentions. Yeah. But I'd go with the Tom Hanks one, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers movie.
See, that's one I did not catch, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was really, really great. Tom Hanks, I mean, he's great in everything that he does. Amazing movie. Hit me hard at certain points. It's not your typical, it's not like a biopic. You're not going in the life of Mr. Rogers. Yeah. It's a part in Mr. Rogers' life where, you know, he's basically helping a troubled journalist. And the journalist thinks that, you know, Mr. Rogers is a front, and that's like the character he's playing is Mr. Rogers. But how's the real Roy Rogers? And it's basically Mr. Rogers being like, no, this is me. You know, I'm not a character. This is me. And he's basically, it's Mr. Rogers trying to help this troubled journalist in his life. Right. And it was really, really good. Really good movie. I didn't put it in my top 10, but definitely on the tier. Okay.
Is there a reason why I didn't make that top 10? Was there a couple things that you didn't like about it? Because we didn't review this movie, so I was just kind of curious.
I think that, you know, I think me personally, I would like the whole biopic, but it was very interesting. You know, I love Tom Hanks and everything he does. Yeah. It was more like he was kind of a secondary character in this movie. He's kind of like the co-star. So I guess I wanted a little bit more, you know, Tom Hanks, a little bit more backstory of the Mr. Rogers and everything. But
they just focused on like that one chunk.
That one part of the life. And it was a great story, beautiful movie, but it wasn't in my top 10. Okay. Really, really good.
All right, my next honorable mention is Jennifer Lopez in Hustlers. Now, did you guys catch that one at all?
Nicholas saw. I didn't get to see that one yet.
Now, this was one that I was totally against at first because I was like, a movie about strippers? Come on, how weird and wild can it be? Laura and I, my girlfriend, we went to the theater, and it was 90% women. And I didn't know what to expect, really, too much with it. Of course, you're going to see a lot of TNA, and, that's to be expected. But beneath that starts to grow like this heist movie, and you start developing these characters. Constance Wu, and she's in the forefront of this movie alongside Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez, after a while, becomes like a side character, so it pretty much focuses on her life as a struggling mother. She has a very, very strong relationship. She lives with her grandma because she's taking care of her. So it's a very I saw her like work the dramatics in this movie a lot, and I felt for her because at the same time she's trying to help her family out with the money, but she's also like just blowing money and having like a rock star time with her friends. If you guys don't know what Hustler's about, it's about these strippers exotic dancers, they like to call them, that pretty much find out a system how to work over these Wall Street guys that have so much money, and it's a heist because they are stealing from each one of these guys individually, and their justification for it is, well, these guys are getting they're ripping off the country, so let's just rip off them, cut out the middlemen. That's their justified. It has a bittersweet ending. This was based loosely on a true story, so that's what kind of intrigued me a little more to make it an honorable mention, but it just didn't make the list because it didn't have that much rewatch value. But I thought this was a pretty solid movie.
Oh yeah, check it out.
It surprised me.
Yeah, I've heard it was good. I had another one. It was the movie Us.
Okay.
The Jordan Peele movie.
The second one.
He did Get Out. Mm-hmm. Really great movie. I love the concept. It kind of reminded me like Twilight Zone episode, where the family's there and they go on this, vacation spot, but they see themselves like they're doppelganger versions of themselves, and it turns out like they're evil, and you don't really know what's going on, but they're just trying to escape from themselves. And it was
survive the night.
Yeah.
It was just like a survive the night type of movie.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't as good as Get Out, in my opinion.
Okay.
Certain things kind of missed the mark, but all in all, I thought it was really fun movie, really good.
I agree with that. As the last part you said, as far as it, when people always compare, is it better than Get Out? I thought Get Out was exceptional.
Yeah,
it was like,
awesome.
I didn't really. I mean, some people in the comments, you probably be like, it was an adaptation of another movie or something. Yeah. This is the first time I've seen a story like that, like Get Out, pretty much.
Yeah.
So to me, it was fresh.
Yeah.
And my next honorable mention, this one may have people saying, "Huh?" It was Rambo: Last Blood.
Oh yeah.
I said and I'll put like a card or something down in the description for our review for Rambo: Last Blood, which only came out maybe 4 months ago.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but it did recently come out. I think last week actually, or 2 weeks ago on physical. And the reason why I'm saying it didn't make the top 10 is because I had not seen the other Rambos since like I saw maybe the first Rambo. Was the first one First Blood?
Yeah,
the first one was First Blood. Way back in the day. Like when I was a little kid, and you had a different experience with it because you had seen all of them pretty much for the most part.
I've seen them all a handful of times.
Yeah. So mine was going in this like as a solid one and done movie, but I felt like it had the emotion, like you were talking about. This was the most emotional one.
Yeah. It really hit hard, and stuff he went through in this one.
Yeah, and I like this. I like the story because it is kind of the subject matter. It was dealing with sex trafficking in Mexico, and it's to modern day what's going on. So a lot of corruption going on, and then it kind of crosses over the American borders into was it Arizona or
Arizona?
I think it was Arizona. Yeah. So you end up getting like a whole Saw trap type of deal at the end, which I thought was really, really cool. I like how it ended. I love the montage at the end with Rambo. Oh, really that almost made me tear up because it was so fucking good.
That was awesome. That was like, man, such an iconic character. And that montage was just like perfect.
And I kind of hope they end it there because Sly is awesome, and this is a character that kind of needs to be put to rest a little bit.
It ended perfect. There's nowhere else really for it
can go. What, Stallone in space or what?
This time Rambo, he's bigger than a house.
So that was one of my because I did enjoy it, even though it is an action film, and I'm sure it got panned by the critics and stuff, but it was a fun movie. It was overall good to me.
Rocket Man.
Okay.
With Taron Egerton.
That was one that I almost threw on there as well.
Yeah, I thought that was a really, really great movie. Really great biopic. Acting was amazing. Story was amazing. Elton John, the story of Elton John and his uprise to his fame. Mm-hmm. And it was really amazing, and what he went through in his life, and it was just like you're watching Elton John's story, just come to life. It was really well put together. It's my honorable mentions, not my top 10, just because I don't know if I could watch it constantly or, rewatch it several times.
Yeah.
It is a musical. Nothing against them, but just wasn't my favorite.
You got to be in the mood for musicals like that and stuff like that. Yeah. All right, guys. And my last honorable mention was Good Boys.
Yes.
Did you think I was going to throw that in there?
I almost put that in my honorable mentions too.
So we didn't review that, right?
We did. Well, we kind of just said it was really good when we watched that really bad movie.
Yeah. So we ended up, that was for the Rob Zombie 3 from Hell. Yeah. Okay. So something went haywire, guys, in our 3 from Hell review where we had to wait. So we decided to just kind of walk into another theater, and Good Boys just barely started up. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of a movie that I wasn't really expecting to watch. We sat down. Yeah. We were laughing the whole damn time.
Oh, hysterical. It was such a great movie.
Hysterically. And it for some reason, it reminds me of Bad Santa as far as the humor, the real raunchy, nasty. Yeah. You have kids in there, of course. Yeah. And they're like, I don't know, 10 years old?
They're like 10, 11.
Yeah. But I can see these kids becoming stars. Like the Stranger Kids route.
Hands down, definitely.
Or Stranger Things, not Stranger Kids. But
same thing, right?
Yeah, same thing. And I through and through enjoyed it. It's pretty much, for the most part, these kids, they're trying to get their drone back, and the drone breaks. And it's kind of not really an interesting story, but I think the humor along, the way and the situations they get in makes it really funny. And I just thought Good Boys, it's a fresh cast, so you don't really, I don't think there was any big stars. Good Boys is one you got to really catch, good, age 13 plus, guys. So, yeah. All right, so that's it for our honorable mentions, guys. Let's get into our top. I'll let you start off with our top for 2019 films.
Yeah, top for 2019. And again, guys, this was really hard to do. There's a lot. So narrowing it down to 10 is kind of a pain in the ass.
I think before I get, I think I actually lied. I went over 10, guys. So
that's okay.
Well, give me some leeway, please.
I did too.
Forgive me. Go for it.
No, it's all good. I got a tie for number 10, and people are going to be looking at me like, "Oh, you really picked those movies?" But I'm not like Siskel and Ebert. I'm not just gonna watch a movie for art house value and nothing that I don't appreciate that. But I'm into horror. I'm into action. I'm into comedy. And it's the movie how it makes me feel and what I enjoy.
Yeah.
So what I had a really fun watching was Crawl. I thought Crawl was, because it was a sleeper. It was like, I went in there and didn't know what to expect. Yeah. And I thought, oh, I hope it's not going to be like a shitty Meg. And I went in there and I watched it, and I was on the edge of my seat. And it was just basically, survival story of the father and daughter trying to escape these, alligators that happened in a flood in Florida, a hurricane.
Yeah.
And it was just like, you're on the edge of your seat, and it was more realistic and more gritty. And I thought that was really good, really well put together. And I walked out of the theater being like, that was really good movie. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a great creature feature too. I gotta agree. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I thought it was pretty gory in some of the scenes. You get the alligators biting people's arms off, biting them. I love how at the end we finally got to see him. I think it might have been her. She got bit, and then they did that twist thing.
Did the death roll.
Yeah, the death roll, because you always hear about that. You just never really see it too much, and they executed it perfectly. Yeah. This was a really that was a really good one actually too. Yeah. That would probably be one of my honorable mentions as well. Yeah. I really enjoyed that one. So.
And my other tie with that was Zombieland 2.
Oh,
and
awesome.
I have to say Zombieland 2 just because I'm such a huge fan of the first Zombieland, and I just love the comedy aspect they put in with it. And it's the same characters, and the stories. It's all right, but I don't think it'll ever top the first. But it was up there for me as far as sequels go. And Woody Harrelson, I love anything he's in. So it
was a good direct sequel too. It felt so much like the first movie too. We don't know our list, by the way. I'm kind of hiding my list. I'm like,
we didn't go over this with each other. We don't know each other's lists. I have no idea what he has. He has no idea what I have. Yeah, we'll find out, huh?
Yeah. But Zombieland 2 was a really good film. It kind of sucks that it took 10 years to do this, but I would have loved to see it like maybe a couple years after the fact.
Yeah, me too. But that cast, they just don't age,
No, they nailed it.
It was awesome.
They nailed it. Yes. So All right, so I'm going to get into my top, starting with one that I actually do physically own, and it's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Ooh, good choice.
Yeah, it's the 9th film, and it's one that we saw kind of more recently. I mean, it came out in summertime of 2019, and shit, I mean, you get Leonardo DiCaprio as Rick Dalton. You get Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth. You get Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate. I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, small aspects of this movie towards the end deal with the Manson murders. So it's obviously a made up story in some aspects, guys. You get these characters of Leonardo DiCaprio, who is an actor. You get Cliff Booth, played by Brad Pitt, who's his stuntman. Which I always kind of wondered, they don't look really that similar to how these
like that was I think that's just one of those things that Tarantino did, and it's just like, hell, we'll go with it. Like,
they're just like phenomenal actors. Like, we got to put them in the movie.
They're so good.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much you get to see the day in the life of them. You get Kurt Russell in there as well as another stuntman.
Legend
stuntman Mike in my mind.
I
want to make believe that it was stuntman Mike, but it wasn't. Yeah. So I think it's the year 1969.
69
is when it all went down. The summer of 1969.
Yeah.
And you just get to focus on them. But like I said, Margot Robbie, Sharon Tate, you get to focus on her in her pregnancy state, where the murders were supposedly happened, but they change it. It's not accurate to what actually happened.
It's not accurate. It's Tarantino history.
Yeah, and the only without giving a spoiler, guys, I mean, the only ending I can compare this to, as far as the Tarantino, is Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
So if you guys have seen Inglourious Bastards and you know how it ends, this is what Once Upon a Time in Hollywood ended like. Yeah. It gave me that feel. I thought it was exceptional as far as the writing goes. Another, high tier in the Quentin Tarantino verse.
Yeah.
Supposedly his next one will be the final one, Kill Bill 3, hopefully.
Yes.
But we don't know what's to come really from him.
Mine next one is Avengers.
That was mine. So we'll cross that off the list. Avengers Endgame. Right here. Endgame, baby.
Look at that. It was the epic. It was the last movie in the whole, phase 4, phase 3.
Yeah. I would call it a trilogy, because the Infinity Wars and Endgame were pretty much like one.
Yeah. So I thought it was, really, really good. I think it could have been about 30 minutes shorter, but that's just me griping, a little nitpick. But I thought it was really well put together. The action sequences, and when you had them all towards the end, I don't want to spoil anything, but it was just like some really amazing shots. And if you're a comic book nerd and you're just fun Marvel movie nerd, you're gonna really enjoy it.
Oh, definitely, for sure. And people always ask me, or people always try to compare the battle scene in Infinity War to Endgame, which one was better. I gotta say, Infinity War, the battle scene was a little bit better, even though I love Endgame as a whole movie.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you get that battle in Wakanda, and you get to see Thor just go full out like insane, like God mode.
Oh yeah.
And which we saw in Thor Ragnarok.
That's my favorite Thor Ragnarok. I love that one.
So we got to see him go beast mode in with Rocket back to back, and the battle in Wakanda, it was just, for some reason, it seemed more intense, even though you had scenes in the battle scene in Endgame where you have Peter Parker just flying with the gauntlet, and it's just like going like they're like playing like football with it, and throwing it to Captain Marvel and stuff. And it was fun. It was cool. It was clever, and it was to my liking. The ending, unfortunately, got the ending spoiled to me.
Oh no!
One of the spoilers. Oh. And I kind of predicted it a while back. We were kind of like, oh, this person gonna die. This person gonna die. Actually, we got the death. I mean, I don't know if we could talk about it now, but they're making a movie about her. Oh, Black Widow dies. Whatever. Black Widow dies. Whatever.
Yes. If somebody hasn't seen the Avengers yet, I mean, it's been out for a little while.
It's been out for a while.
It's such a big movie. So.
And you guys know they're making a movie, which is a prequel of, I think it's supposed to be set like after the first Avengers.
Okay, yeah.
But she does sacrifice her life in Endgame, and, spoiler alert once again. And that was one that I didn't see coming, as well as another spoiler that happened towards the end, which really surprised me. But I was like, that was an amazing farewell. That was an amazing send off, and I was thoroughly happy. This is one of my favorites for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, guys. So my next pick is Alita: Battle Angel, and I think it was a sleeper. A lot of people were just kind of like, it looked weird. Her eyes were too big, but to me, for some reason, that kind of sucked me into the comic realm. Or the anime realm. I didn't really see the anime until I watched the movie for the first time. I went back, and if you guys want to go check out the anime, it's on YouTube. You can watch the full thing. It's only in 2 parts, so it's like an hour long. Nice. But if you watch that and then you watch this movie, they got it like scene for scene. You know, all the characters as much as they could with the CGI that's around. And I'm so glad they made this movie in this time. Yeah. Because the CGI just looks so phenomenal. This was produced by James Cameron, directed by Robert Rodriguez. I thought a lot of perfect casting. James Cameron was actually supposed to direct this. But he's doing all the avatars, of course. So he passed it on to Robert Rodriguez. I thought he did an excellent job. We get to see Christoph Waltz as pretty much the I would call him a co-star because Rosa Salazar as Alita is kind of like the main star in this movie. Didn't know anything about her at all whatsoever. I'm watching her in a new Amazon show called Undone. I think it's really good with Bob Odenkirk. Oh, nice. Check it out if you can. Really psychedelic type of show. Just the way they made it is just different. But anyways, Alita Battle Angel is pretty much Alita. She falls from a world up on top. If you guys have seen Elysium, there's 2 worlds. Yeah. Pretty much is what it is. The wealthy get to live on this top world, and while the bottom get to live on the bottom, of Earth, and it's this post-apocalyptic world, pretty much, just set like I forget how many years in the future. Pretty far. It's hundreds of years in the future. But you get Christoph Waltz's character, who's pretty much a doctor that pretty much helps out people that get amputated or injured, because it seems like in this futuristic utopian, if you lose a limb, you get it replaced by like some kind of cyber, like robotic type of deal. So you get people that are walking around half cyborg. Is what it is. And he's going through this junkyard looking for scraps, spare parts, and he finds Alita, a bust of Alita, and finds out that she's fully functional. Then he finds out that she's like some advanced AI, and that's where, to me, it sucked me in. I was like, okay, you get advanced AI, but she's from the past. So it's like, who was working on her? And you get this whole thing. And there's so many layers to this movie. She gets a new body. He starts developing a new body. And he starts pretty much treating her like a daughter that he never had. And just teaching her about the world, because she doesn't know anything about the world that she lives in currently. And it was just an awesome movie. You get to see the growth of all that. You get Ed Skrein, who was in Deadpool. He played Ajax. And you get to see him as a villain. A lot of people didn't like his look and stuff like that. His full body is CGI. Like the full body is CGI. Like, this has got to be hard to do. All you get is his actual face as far as like what's actually him. So look at the making of this movie, guys. It's freaking phenomenal. I thought it looked great.
Beautifully shot.
The world just immersed me, and Alita Battle Angel, one of my tops this year for sure.
That's a good one. Good choice. I'm gonna go with next. I'm gonna go with John Wick 3.
You son of a bitch.
I know. I figured we'd have several on
John Wick 3.
Yes.
Yeah, John Wick 3.
I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan. Anything he does, I'm going to go see it. Love Keanu Reeves. Loved him since, for a long, long time. Bill and Ted, which I can't wait for part 3. But John Wick 3 basically takes place after John Wick 2, right after John Wick 2, when all the assassins are trying to hunt down John Wick, and he's got that $15 million bounty, and you're like, oh shit, what's he gonna do? He has to try and escape all of them, and John Wick's just a legend. He's a beast, and he's got to try and get this bounty off his head. So he's going, to try and find help, and nobody can help him. It's just really, really good movie. A lot of action. Really loved it. Loved the story. Really, really well put together. Fight scenes. Not like a lot of CGI, a lot of like practical effects, which I really love. Really great movie.
Keanu's a beast just for putting himself through. He's one of those that, like a Tom Cruise, that really wants to do his own stunts and show that he's just, of course you had, I think it all started pretty much like from The Matrix. He wanted to start learning, martial arts. He got the Man of Tai Chi, what was it, Ronin 47 and stuff like that, which weren't the best movies, but it kind of showed that he wanted to be immersed in this kung fu culture and be taken really seriously. He's one of those actors that have stepped it up in the last decade, 15 years.
Hands down.
You take him as a serious act. Who would think that this guy from Bill and Ted would go on to this?
Right?
It's amazing to me.
He's awesome. Like I said, I'll see anything he's in. He also just seems like a really, really awesome just person in general. So I really liked John Wick 3. I can't wait for part 4.
The next one actually is one that you said within your honorable mentions, and it's Us by Jordan Peele. Now, even though I had already said that Get Out was, I thought, a little bit of a better movie overall. Us was just one of those standout movies where it's like, damn, okay, it's Jordan Peele's second movie. If you guys don't know Jordan Peele, look up Key and Peele. But they did their own variety show, guys, which was a huge hit after the Chappelle show on Comedy Central. So check that one out if you guys can. Show. So it's very hard to believe that this man immersed himself in like a horror thriller culture, and he's actually going to be directing the next Candyman coming up next summer. Actually, which I'm really looking forward to. He hosted the Twilight Zone. I think he did. I don't know if he produced it or. I'm
not 100% sure. I didn't actually see it, but
I saw a couple episodes. They were okay. They were all right. Not the best things, but he did host that. So this is a director that really surprised me. And with Us, like Jeremy had talked about earlier, it does have to do with doppelgangers and a whole subculture of things going on underneath us, and underground subways and whatnot. And I thought the twist was cool. I thought the ending was a brain twister for me. Some people predicted it. I didn't personally.
I didn't at all.
Yeah. I guess watching it the second time, you can kind of catch like, oh, they're doing flashbacks for this reason, or they're putting them in this scenario for this reason, and then you're just like, you put two and two together before you catch the end. But I thought it was an exceptional movie. I thought Lupita Nyong'o fucking nailed it.
Oh, she did amazing
as two characters in this movie. I forget her name in the movie, but I know her doppelganger's name is Red. So the cool family dynamic. So to see them being thrown in that horror home invasion, basically is what it was really cool for me, and that's why I really love it. Just stood out in my mind.
Really great movie. My next one is Toy Story 4.
That was a good one.
A lot of nostalgia factor. I think Toy Story is my personal favorite, like Pixar. And you got voice of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, and it was just really well put together. Ends right off 3. It's basically about Sporky, and the sport comes to life and trying to find their family and a friend, and it was just really, really well put together. I really liked it. And like I said, anything Tom Hanks does, I'm gonna probably like. I don't think he's ever made a bad movie.
I don't think so.
I think Toy Story 3 ended perfect, and I didn't think there really needed to be another. But I did really like Toy Story 4.
You didn't really need to make Toy Story 4, but at the same time, it was cool that they created their own story based on that world. Because like you said, Forky, he's as goofy as it looks, guys. There's an underlying issue with this where it has to do with family. And oh my God, dude, my heart broke at the ending of this movie with Woody. I'm just going to say that. But I was like thoroughly satisfied. I was actually going to pick this one up to rewatch it, but I ended up doing it. I'm probably going to go back and do that because it was phenomenally shot. I like the setting that it was in. It's weird because it takes place in one little area, pretty one new town, but to these toys it seems like a fucking universe. Like a huge universe, you know what I mean? Even like with the shop and stuff like that, the pawn or antique shop that they're all exploring. That was really, really cool. I liked a lot of the weird mannequin dolls that kept walking around,
creepy dolls.
That was really, really cool. Toy Story for sure was a great one this year. And man, we're getting deep into it. We're at the half an hour mark, guys, but I'm gonna go into another big one, and it is a horror movie, It Chapter 2.
Oh, good pick.
It was definitely a step up from the first one. If you guys don't know about It Chapter 2, you gotta watch the first one for sure. I would even say go back and watch the original Tim Curry, Stephen King, because there's so many elements of that one. Even though some people say, certain things got switched around and whatnot. It Chapter 2 just explored, if you guys know, it was a TV movie, the first one.
In the 90s.
And in the second part, we got to see them grown up. And pretty much what was it, like
27
years later, something like that. 27 years later, so you get a cast now that's in their late 30s, I believe in their late 30s, and they're all doing, it seems like they all went off to do successful things, other than a couple of the characters that kind of just settled down and whatnot, but this one felt like It Chapter 1 so much because you get so many damn flashbacks.
You get a lot of flashbacks. The kids are pretty main in the story still, and it was really well put together.
Yeah. So if you don't know, if you didn't see chapter 1, it's kind of like you are watching chapter 1 because of the flashbacks in chapter 2. So it's pretty much them trying to just finally put the nail in the coffin with Pennywise. It is brutal in this movie. Yeah. This one was, I think, a little more brutal than the first movie. Yeah. It just darker subject matter, especially when you get the kid deaths and whatnot. Especially it starts off with the brutal tone with the hate crime, with the hate crime violence in the beginning of the movie, which a lot of people thought was controversial. I mean, this is in the 80s. This is modern time. Was it modern time?
I think this was modern.
This is modern. I'm sorry. So I mean, you have a couple of issues that are still going on today, of course, and it just was like, holy shit! Like it really set the tone for like how brutal Pennywise was and just how brutal nature these bullies were. Yeah, totally. Pretty much, and I loved how it ended. I loved the character development. I thought
Bill Hader.
Bill Hader was exceptional in this movie. James McAvoy was amazing in this film. I forget the actress's name. But she was great.
She was really good. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that.
Yeah, there were so many people.
Hader made the movie for me. I really liked Hader in it, though.
Yeah, his the ending for him, because I did not read the books at all, and I don't remember this twist in the first movie. Yeah, no. About what happened with Bill Hader's character.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
So I think they did add that in because that was actually a direct lift from the book. Kind of, I think it was kind of like hinted at a certain plot, a twist, and they added it to this movie, and a lot of people seem to like it, and I thought it was good. I thought it was sweet. I thought it was genuine. I didn't really was like, oh, what the fuck, you know, like it didn't take anything away really from me. I mean, it just added just a level, a level of the story. Yeah, it added a level of love to these this bunch, this brat pack, pretty much. Is what it was, and it was what were they called? They were called the gang, something kind of gang. Or the something gang or something. They were called
the Losers Club.
Yeah. And I mean, if you guys are fans of this Pennywise world, definitely check out chapter 2. I thought it was the better of the two.
It was really, really, really good. That should have been an honorable mention. I don't know why it slipped out, but
no worries.
My next one is Irishman. That went on Netflix,
and that's the one that I didn't see yet.
Oh no,
I haven't taken time to even sit down and.
I'm not going to say anything to spoil it.
Please don't.
I'll just say it's very long, but I didn't mind that, and just the performances and the whole cast. I mean, you got De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, Harvey Keitel. You got all these amazing, big hitters in this one movie, directed by Martin Scorsese, who did Goodfellas and Casino and Departed and just all these iconic movies, Raging Bull, Taxi Driver. And I'm not going to go into the premise or spoils. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but really well put together. And I thought personally Joe Pesci killed it.
Yeah.
So
why is he taking such a hiatus? I don't know. As far as like not doing many films.
Yeah, he was retired for several years and he came back for this, and he said no. Like several times at first, and
to this movie,
really? But I guess De Niro and Scorsese just were like, oh, we really want you, we need you, and
because
he finally did it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he got typecasted, because in the 80s when he did all those mob movies, I mean, he went off to do like My Cousin Vinny, Home Alone, so he showed that he was a breakout character.
Oh, he's amazing.
So I don't think he
is amazing.
I don't think he got typecasted, but something about like the late 90s and I think 2000s, I didn't really see him in anything.
I think Eight Heads in a Duffel Bag.
When did that come out? Was that the early 90s?
I think it was like 90, I could be wrong, 96, 97.
Oh, okay, so it's mid-90s.
I think that kind of like, because it was just a flop and, critics hated it. Yeah. And it just didn't really do anything. I think that's what kind of, he may have been discouraged, may have been like, he's done a lot of movies and now it's time to just, sit back and relax. But Irishman, yes, definitely.
Okay. I'm definitely I swear I'm gonna have to put that on my list before we depart into 2020.
Yes.
Okay, so my next movie, and I don't think you've seen it yet, was Parasite.
I have not, and I wanted to, but I have not seen it yet.
Yeah. So that's also I forget the name. I don't want to butcher the director's name.
Bong Joon-ho.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. So he was the director of Oakjaw. He also did Snowpiercer, which was fucking great.
Amazing.
So underrated. Was that a Netflix film?
I want to say. Yes.
Or straight to
it was straight
DVD?
To streaming.
It's streaming?
Yeah, but
oh god, that was such a good movie though.
Oh, it was so good.
I had coworkers telling me that was a good some kind of correlation with Willy Wonka.
Oh, really?
Snowpiercer? Huh. I was like, What? How?
I don't know.
I don't know. There's a theory going on out there. It's
really great movie though. Yes.
Yeah, fantastic one with Chris Evans.
Oakjaw too.
Yeah, Oakjaw was great. So you get a lot of the characters that were in that. Oh, he also did The Host too. I don't know. You got to check out the
Host is really good.
Yeah. So the main star of The Host is actually the main star of Parasite. I mean, the whole family is the main stars, and pretty much is what it is it's a family of actors. They're just really good at putting on a front, and they kind of weasel their way into working with this wealthy family by slowly eliminating the former people that work with them. So if they have a maid, they somehow get her out of there, and then they say, oh, I know a family friend, and it's the mom, and they replace her with that. They go, you have a teacher? Oh, I have a better teacher over here. It's my, they don't say it's my son, but they say, oh, I know somebody. But they're all the same family. They work their way into this, house, and they just start leeching. I think that's why it was called Parasite, because at first you think Parasite is going to be a horror movie, but they're leeching onto this family that has, obviously in a better wealthy situation than they are, and it's very about manipulation. But there is a twist, like a M. Night Shyamalan twist in this movie that it blew me and my girlfriend away. Oh, wow. And I definitely got a bunch of Sundance awards or awards overseas. Won a lot, I think this actually comes to physical next month. That's why I don't have it, but I'm definitely picking it up in January. Parasite, you got to check it out. It's phenomenal.
I'll definitely have to check that one out. My next was Knives Out.
Okay.
I thought was really, really good. Directed by Rian Johnson. It was, you had Chris Evans, Christopher Plummer.
A lot of people in that movie.
A lot of people. Michael Shannon, Jamie Lee Curtis. Just all-star cast.
What's her name from a Hereditary? As well, too. What's her name? Colette.
Nicolette Colette or
Colette.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yes, I know, and I can't say it either. Well, Knives Out's basically, like you're watching, like it's like Clue, and
that's what I heard. Yeah,
it's really, really good, and it was basically the grandfather who is this rich mogul. He has this like empire, and he dies, and they want to try and fight over his will. They're trying to fight over his will and what gets what and who gets the empire and the legacy, what he leaves behind. And it just does a 180, and now people are upset that who gets it, and they're trying to, so it just goes back and forth. And it was really, really really, really good movie. Daniel Craig killed it. I thought he did an amazing job. He's this detective, and it was just really, really good.
Yeah.
Watch it again.
So I haven't personally seen this, but I actually do want to go check it out. The trailers really didn't kind of pull me in. I think that's why I didn't want to see it.
No, me neither.
Yeah, it just felt like something that was going to be like a clumsy, clumsy, just all over the place type of movie. Michael Shannon is like one of my favorite actors, and even he couldn't pull me in. At least as far as like opening weekend. I have so much stuff going on the weekends too. That's the tough part. But it did seem like a Clue type of movie. From what people were telling me.
The who did it?
Yeah, who done it type of deal. And it's good to see Daniel Craig doing movies like this, because we're getting the last 007 from Daniel Craig. So he's going to have to transition out of that, or else people are going to be like, oh, it's that 007 guy. It's James Bond.
No, totally.
And when you get typecast like that, like Hugh Jackman, and everybody knows him as Logan, it's like, fuck, I can't do any other movies now.
No, exactly.
So that's awesome. I gotta check out Knives Out, because that's one that
really, really good movie.
All right, guys, and my next one, and probably the biggest film of this year, was Joker.
Yes.
DC's Joker. I gotta say DC's, because DC has a slew of shitty movies in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Not just because I'm a Marvel. Not just because I'm a Marvel fanboy. I tried to watch these movies, and even DC fans are like, these movies are not hitting the mark.
Yeah, no, like Suicide Squad. Ugh, it was terrible. It was awful. It was just a bad movie.
That was so bad.
Jared Leto's Joker. Ugh.
Oh god.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Erase whatever you know about the previous Joker. I mean, not the previous Jokers, the previous Joker. Heath Ledger was fantastic. Yeah. You have Jack Nicholson, of course, and it's just like, this was one of my favorite Jokers. I'm going to say, we had that whole debate about the Heath Ledger. I think I had said Heath Ledger before.
You did, yeah.
But I take this back, because I've seen it a couple of times. It is coming out on physical, I believe, next month, the end of next month.
It's out already, isn't it?
The digital is. The digital, not the physical. Okay. I think I think it's middle of January, something like that. Yeah. Could be wrong, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick it up. It was a movie that I was like, okay, Joaquin Phoenix. Last couple of years, he's been slowly like coming back. Yeah, he really impressed me with that independent movie with him and Jonah Hill. You Won't Go Far. Okay, don't worry, he won't go far on foot or something like that. Really impressed me with that one. And then he just kind of built it. Even with Her. Yeah, with Her was a great movie. He was just kind of going up the ladder, and then they're like taking a chance with Joaquin Phoenix, and he nailed it. Fucking nailed it, dude.
Perfect. Like you said, great choice. This is actually number one on my list. I'd have to say this was probably my favorite movie I saw, and just because it's just like it just went against the mold. It's rated R. Which
I'm glad they went.
Not a lot of action. No really action at all. It just critics really didn't seem to like it. Yeah. But it did so well, and it was this tragic story, and I thought it was perfect, and I could rewatch it several times.
It's a complete opposite of what everybody thinks a superhero movie is, or even a super villain movie, because you go in there. That was a lot of people's gripes that didn't know anything about Joker or didn't know anything about the superhero super villain world, is there was no action. Well, they completely, I think they went away from that formula of what wasn't working with at least DC characters. Exactly. And they did a whole deep dive with this character of Joker, of what is his name?
Arthur Fleck.
Arthur Fleck. And it's just such a sad life that this guy has.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, it's a tragedy, like he says in the movie. And I thought my life was a comedy. It's a tragedy. Yeah. And because you get someone that's trying to bring so much joy to everyone
He's trying to be
the whole clown
good to people
deal. And it's just like, of course, this world of Gotham is like New York. Yeah, it's supposed to be. They film it in New York, if you guys didn't know. Yeah. But it has that aesthetic of New York, but like New York in like a really grim alternate universe, because I went to New York recently and I was like, okay, it's not as bad as Joker.
Yeah, right.
But so it seems like everyone is just like kind of real cutthroat. I mean, we get to see Bruce Wayne's father in this movie kind of running for mayor, something like that. Yeah, so we get to see that kind of a little bit, and how that all plays. It's in the 60s, right? 60s or 70s?
This film is what it's supposed 70s.
70s? Yeah. So we get to see a little bit of what was going on back then. And there's like a grime filter on this movie where everything just seems grim. Yeah. It sets the mood. The music was, oh God.
Oh, the music was a character in itself.
And this is one of the first movies that, well, at least with Joaquin, he was saying that he got to hear the music while the scene was playing. Yeah. They didn't add it afterwards in post-production. So all the dance moves that he's doing it while he's hearing this music live on set. And that's like different. That really immerses his character. Yeah. And there's so many close-ups of his face and these reactions of him pulling the face, the smile up.
And the tear coming out of his eyes.
It's a fantastic performance. I love the way it ended. Robert De Niro's in it. He has a cameo. He plays a huge part towards the end. There's a huge, kind of subplot that's happening in the background where everybody's trying to rise up against Wayne. Yeah. And it's like, dude, everything about this movie was perfect.
It was perfect. Like I said, this one was my favorite movie. I'd have to say one that was just really, really good. And it really hits you. And
it plays off the whole, not really, I'm trying to think of like some kind of like disorder that he has where things aren't real. Yeah. Things aren't always what they seem. And us as the audience watching it, we don't know what's real and what's not, what's happening, until we kind of find out later on in the movie. It was just exceptional.
Yeah. No,
phenomenal movie.
He deserves the Oscar for sure.
Yeah. I think if my list is not going in any order by any chance, just FYI, but I think Joker would be probably my top favorite film of the year too. If I had
mine too. I'm gonna knock this off my list, and because we're talking about it now. But that was my number one for sure. I'm gonna go with Dr. Sleep.
That was one of mine. Yeah, that was one of mine too.
Really well put together. Another based off Stephen King. It's basically it's a sequel of The Shining. It's in that universe and set. How many years after?
I want to say maybe 30?
Yeah, something like it was.
About 25, 30 years later. Because he's like in his late 30s, 40s, something like
that. Just really, really great movie. Really, really well put together. Suspense, everything. I haven't really seen a lot of movies like this. really well shot. Acting was amazing, and we're diehard Shining fans, and it goes back to the horror aspect. Really, really good. Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, definitely. I got to agree with that one. That's on my list as well, so I'll mark that off. Dr. Sleep, and I'm surprised at how panned this movie was.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw any reviews, but I was actually listening to a podcast recently where people were like, "Oh, Dr. Sleep, it put me to sleep," and it's like, okay, you have to really kind of lose yourself in this movie. It's about the character development. Yeah, there's a shining aspect of it, which we get like spurts of like action with. Where it becomes like a supernatural. You're using this shining and this force that these characters have, and these people that are trying to take that away from these characters, the shining and stuff like that. And I loved it. I don't understand why people didn't like this. I love Danny Torrance.
I thought it was.
I loved older Danny Torrance. We get to see him. He's an alcoholic later in life. He's going through things like he's really, so this is relatable. This is, people deal with this stuff all the time, family members or yourself, you're going through, rehabilitation or whatever it is. And you can feel for these characters. You also get this villain of Rose the Hat, who was fucking great. I thought she was fantastic.
She did amazing.
Yeah. And on a side note, this does come out next month as well on physical. And the director added an extra 30 minutes. We're getting a director's cut.
Oh, very cool.
Of an extra 30 minutes. So it's going to be a 3-hour movie.
Oh, wow.
And I'm excited for that. I'll sit through 3 hours.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was an exceptional movie for sure.
Yes.
Going to my next pick, guys, and it was one that I saw recently. I think it was actually last month in November. It's Honey Boy with Shia LaBeouf.
I didn't get to see that.
Yeah, one. I was telling you, this is Shia LaBeouf. Kind of like a biopic a little bit, but Shia LaBeouf is playing his father in his younger years, and I think in his maybe like 6 years ago, whenever Shia went crazy, crazy as far, I think he had a personal breakdown. I think it just got too much. The Hollywood limelight got way too much. He was trying to focus on side projects, these art, political things that he had going on, and people were trolling the shit out of him. And it was just I felt really bad for him.
He started at such a young age too. You know, and it's a lot of pressure. I want to check that one out for sure.
Yeah. So with Even Stevens, we get to focus on that. They don't say it's Even Stevens, but he's dressed like the character from Even Stevens. And so pretty much what it is his father, and this is all based on true scenarios, guys. I think some of it was fabricated, I think just for the movie sake purposes, but young Shia, I totally forget the kid's name, but he was the one that played in Ford versus Ferrari. Okay. The son, the young son, that actor, he was also in Quiet Place. Okay, the kid from the Quiet Place. So so we get to see him playing young Shia LaBeouf as Even Stevens, around that time. That's the main focus, guys. But Shia LaBeouf plays his father, and his father is his pretty much his manager. Yeah. But he's very, very abusive. He's someone that I think he did like the Vietnam War, or he was in one of the wars. We came back really, really a lot of PTSD, but he acquired this like habit, like he got sucked into this addiction of just drugs and alcohol, and he takes it out on his kid. He takes it out. It ruined his relationship, but he's trying to be this like. He's trying to play manager and father at the same time, but he's just very, very harsh with it. A lot of tough love, to a point where it's just like he's grabbing the son and just like he got really involved with this role because this is his father. Like he's playing his own father. And, it was a very exceptional performance by them too. We also get to see, forget the actor's name again, but he was the one in Lucas Hedges. Oh, Lucas Hedges. He plays the older Shia LaBeouf in like 2016, maybe, whenever he was getting busted with the law. So we get to see him going through rehabilitation as well for alcohol, of course, because, he's holding on to resentment from his father. That's a whole central plot of it. So we get to see jumping back and forth, between timelines. And I thought it was an exceptional film of and it's really sad. It makes it like it kind of puts all the pieces together of why he is how he is. Yeah. And Honey Boy was exceptional. It was great. And I got if you guys don't know, look back in my previous videos. He actually showed up to our showing. Oh yeah, so, that was rad. We were blown out of our seats. We were getting up, and they're like, "Shia LaBeouf, everybody!" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" Everybody was clapping and stuff like that. So Honey Boy.
My next was Jojo Rabbit.
Oh yeah,
I thought Jojo Rabbit was one of the best films this year.
Honorable mention for me for sure.
Yeah. I know the director. I just can't say his name, so I'll just butcher it.
Oh, Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi. Yeah. Really, really, really great movie. It was sad. It was cinematography was amazing. It's basically, it's set in World War II, towards the end of World War II. And this little boy like idolizes Adolf Hitler, but he's just a 10-year-old boy, and his mom's got the little girl in the attic, and she's trying to hide, and because she's Jewish, and at that time, and she couldn't get caught, and so he ends up finding her, and he just got this bullshit ideology that was just run through his mind, and everyone kept telling him, you're not this soldier. You're not, you don't know what you're doing.
He doesn't act his age at all. He acts like he's like 20 years old,
Exactly. And, it just comes full circle into a 180. And, he comes to the realization that, I'm, what's wrong with, why am I hating? Why do I hate? Why am I angry? And, it was just a really good movie. Sam Rockwell, really, really well put together. The soundtrack, everything.
It's a very good story about, even though it is a satire, guys, obviously, especially the first 20 minutes is like very, very funny, hysterical. Yes. They're like, they're talking about, it's like a Nazi boys camp. Yeah. And, but they make it like funny. They try to like make it like, all right, everybody, let's go burn books. Type of deal. But, as you get towards, this second and third act of the movie, it's about, everybody's the same. Everybody's human. We're dividing each other by race or religion or whatever it is. Yeah. And it's foolish. It's all just ridiculous.
There's too much
hate,
divide, and it's just there's too much hate and anger in the world. And it's people can't just get along, and it's too much at times, and this brings that to light, and it's just like don't hate, don't be angry, don't It was really beautiful.
It's a lot about brainwashing, and Scarlett Johansson is a complete opposite. I mean, she's obviously playing the father and mother role. The father's not there, so he doesn't have a father figure. She has to play both roles. So what he sees as a father figure is Adolf Hitler. And it's like, hey, the worst father figure you can think of in your life,
the worst person to ever look up to. And I just love how the movie just does that complete 180, and then he realizes, wow, what am I doing? This is complete BS.
Yeah, definitely an honorable mention. I guess we'll end it on that note, guys. Let us know what you thought on your top picks for 2019. We're ending the year. What are you guys looking forward to in 2020? Do you want to go over that? Because off the brain, I don't know really what's coming out in 2020 yet, but
I'm not 100% sure what's coming out in 2020.
I'm kind of drawing a blank myself.
I am.
My mind's in 2021 with Keanu Day.
I know. I'm waiting for Keanu Day. I'm all scramble-brained right now. I can't think of...
I'm looking forward to Black Widow. That's coming out in May.
Okay.
I think that'll be a good like spy type of movie.
Yeah.
So Black Widow for sure for me. But other than that, I'm not even following it too much.
Bill and Ted. I'm gonna be waiting.
Is that coming out next year?
Yeah.
Oh, it is really.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm looking forward to that.
Bill and Ted 3. I'll be there. We'll be there.
Yeah.
Opening night.
We'll for sure be there. But let us know what you guys thought. Give us a thumbs up if you guys can, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more content like this. I know it was a lengthy one.
It was a little long.
But thank you guys for sticking through till the end. You can also listen to this on Spotify as well as like Apple Podcast and Castbox, all your streaming podcast services. All right, guys, till next time, we're gone.
Bye.
Elizabeth Moss and she's a comedian.
Tiffany Haddish?
Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you. Oh, the blooper.
Yeah, that's all right. This is live. This is live, everybody.
I might cut that out.
No, it's okay. It's funny.